The topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Welcome to my radio and TV show, Debi Changes Lives. I'm Debi, your certified holistic health coach. I revitalize people's health by helping them identify the root causes of their health issues and create a custom natural holistic strategy in the areas of mind, body, and soul. As a health coach, I'm not allowed to say that I heal, treat, cure, prevent, or diagnose any diseases. I can certainly make your body more efficient by reducing symptoms. You'll feel better, be more productive, and enjoy life so much more. And today I'm excited to have Dr. Randi Shannon, a naturopath, on my show. She has 20 plus years of experience in nutrition, anti-aging, and stress-related health. As a natural health authority, she gives us insights about 5,000-year-old original medicine, emphasizing on healthy food choices to promote optimal health. Her expertise expands through cardiovascular health, autoimmune disorders, and inflammatory diseases. We'll discover a unique approach she has for analyzing the face, tongue, and nails that gives her an accurate record of a person's systematic and physical situation. You'll be amazed. So welcome to my show, Dr. Randi Shannon.
Thank you so much for having me on here. And, I'm excited for you getting started with your podcast. These shows are so important. It's such a great way to get the word out in the health field, which has been the forefront topic really for the last few years, especially. So, what I do is 5,000-year-old original medicine, and that's what people don't understand. So I'm sure we'll get into that. So I'll let you kind of lead the way.
Okay. Yeah. And I've heard so many good things about you, and I'm really amazed at what you've done. So yes, I'm going to ask you about the 5,000-year-old original medicine that maybe some people are not aware of. So go ahead and share.
Well, some of the listeners here might have heard about how we got to the medical system that we have today, but I'm going to just kind of recap it for everybody. Back in 1910 to 1915, there was a gentleman that went around the country. He was paid to do that, to go to all the medical schools, which were all naturopathic in nature back then. And they got their remedies from the earth. Everything was put here. God said he gave everything for all of our natural remedies right here on earth. It's in his word. And so this gentleman was paid to go around the country and look at what the naturopathic schools were doing. And then they took those protocols and they changed them. For example, white willow bark is a painkiller, a natural painkiller. So derived from that is something that we call Tylenol. So they took the white willow bark and changed it slightly and then put a patent on it. And now they sell it in stores all around the world. That's just one example. So they basically took all the remedies from the naturopaths and then they created prescriptions out of them. And the body doesn't like prescriptions, by the way. It hates them. It's now fighting the ailment as well as the prescription and the damage that it does. So what we did was original medicine. And then what I do is even further back where they actually looked at the body. Ooh, there's a, smart thing to do. They looked at the body and they said, wow, what's going on? Your tongue looks funny. Your fingernails, this shouldn't be on your fingernails. This shouldn't be on your face. And so I go that little bit further and I look at those specific areas and other marks of concern, if you will, on the body. And from that, they're all related to certain organs. And so from that, I can look at somebody anywhere. I can be in a restaurant. I can be, in the grocery store. It does not matter where. I can see people on the television and I can say, oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. They have a spleen issue. They have a heart issue. They have, and I fill in the blank. And I can tell you I'm the life of any event, party, networking type of event I go to. They're all like, hey, did you hear what she does? Have her, stick out your tongue and see what she can tell you about yourself. So yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. I'm sure you're the life of any party because it's so unique, approach. And obviously it's telling you information about that person. Yeah. So, is there any more detail you want to give about the face, tongue, nail analysis?
Sure. Yeah. Anything that somebody is, let's say they're going and they're getting Botox or fillers. Why are they doing that? When the doctor says, hey, make an angry face, and they do, and then he starts filling in lines, he's covering up the scene of the crime. What's the crime? That the body is not getting the nutrients that it's supposed to, and now there's organs in disarray. The tongue should be very smooth, very pretty, should be not full of cracks or crevices or spots or discolorations. And there can be numerous, it can be white, it can be yellow, it can be brown, it can be black. I've seen black tongues. Wow. So yeah. And they thought they were just walking along in life thinking that everything was normal. And it's not. They might feel a little bad or they might have an issue somewhere else. And they don't understand that that correlates. And so then I can see that issue there. So yeah, we can, with this process, see, and I'm one of the rarest naturopaths in this country and even around the world with this process. Not many people are doing it. The Chinese still do, acupuncturists do it to a point, but they don't really get into the nitty gritty of it. They might tell you that your tongue is hot. That really doesn't mean anything to anybody. Doesn't mean anything to me. Nothing. Yeah. So, yeah, it looks hot when I see things going on, but I can't even relate that to people. That is the old ways and the old way of saying it. I do it in a more modern way where I tell my clients exactly which organs I see in disarray. So if it's not smooth, like a baby's skin on your tongue, you've got issues. If you have color discolorations on the top or the bottom, you've got issues that you cannot ignore. And that goes the same with the lines in the face. You really don't want to get the Botox or the fillers. You want to take care of that organ that's screaming. And, us women, we tend to be a little bit more into that than guys. They're like, whatever. But as women, women, there's a whole multi-gazillion dollar industry around the Botox and the fillers and the facelifts. I was sent something by a friend of mine who's thinking about going and getting a facelift out in California. To walk in that guy's door, $85,000. Well,
yeah, it is.
Way less, I can help you get the natural facelift.
Yes.
So it just depends on what people want to do.
Somebody will work with acne and it could be like, $500 to $1,000. It's ridiculous how much they charge. So yeah. It's really expensive.
Well, the younger people, a dermatologist will be put on prescriptions. They'll be put on tetracycline, things like that to get the acne under control. And even the pill in a lot of women, they get put on the pill to get the acne under control. It's just absolute insanity to me because that has nothing to do with the problem. The problem is always raw mineral nutrient deficiencies every single time. And couple that with people eating the wrong foods that are antagonizers that inflame the body. And so there's a lot of people in trouble today, a lot of people.
Yeah, and there's a lot of foods that even block the capability of medication and being able to absorb the nutrients you need to absorb. So it's really important to have a healthy gut. And I'm a high component of people being gluten-free. So that's really important because it's really helped me improve my health. Yeah. Even though I started late in life in doing that, because I didn't find out about this until I was like 49 years old or something like that.
Well, and the thing is people think, oh, you're just on the latest fad. No, not at all.
Mhm.
Glutens, gliadins, and phagopyrenes are a problem. And some of those things that I just said, maybe your audience, I don't know how far this will reach, but they probably never heard of anything but the gluten. And I'm one of maybe 3 or 4 actual doctors that are talking about gliadins and phagopyrenes. And once the whole, we'll say, social media group of content people gets a hold of that, that's all we're going to hear about. But we've been talking about it for years. Dr. Wallach, a doctor whom I work with, and I'm assuming you have,
Yeah, I do too.
has been talking about it for 50 years.
Mhm.
So, the naturopaths that are out there, once they get a hold of it, they'll just be taka, and that'll be their main points. And, the thing is wheat, barley, rye, oatmeal, and buckwheat all are very destructive to the gut. They
Mhm.
go through us like a wrecking ball. By the time they make it to the small intestine, they've really just blown up your system.
Mhm.
And that has to all get healed. And that will show. I will see that damage. And if a client of mine, when I do my analysis, I put everybody on certain protocols specific to them, okay, based on what I saw. And once I do that, if, we're 60 days down the road, 90 days down the road, and we're in a follow-up appointment, and I see certain things not disappearing, I know they're cheating the system, and I know that they're still getting those in the diet.
Yes.
So there's certain foods out there too where they'll say, well, the gluten's got destroyed in the processing. So I've made myself the test subject. So take a whiskey, for example. They'll say a whiskey, the wheat gets destroyed in the distilling. That's a lie. I've tested it on myself, drank a little bit of whiskey when I was perfectly, no cracks, no crevices, nothing. Lo and behold, a couple days later, I've got all the evidence that the glutens were not destroyed in the process. Same thing with certain flours. I tested on myself just to see what happens to me. And sure enough, they were not destroyed in the process. And I will see the damage on my own tongue and prove it wrong. So, yeah, it's very, very telling. It will show on your tongue very quickly.
Yeah. And, I've always been sensitive to oils.
Mhm.
And that's something that I learned. Like, if I also I actually corrected everything. And then I went on a trip where I think things are people are recycling oil or something, because all of a sudden I got really ill. I'm
Mhm.
better now.
Yeah.
But, oils are awful for you. They create free radicals. They create so much inflammation in your system.
Mhm.
And they're so damaging. And I've learned that, a long time ago when I was in my 20s, and I kind of stayed away from it at that time. That was before I even knew about this whole world.
I'll show you a picture, and you're not going to see who the client is. Let me see if I can get. Oh shoot, the first one's not showing up. Hold on. I'm going to try and show you. Yeah, here we go. So this is an example of the damage that oils do. I don't know if you can see that perfectly.
Ooh,
Let's see, there
yeah.
we go.
Oh, wow. All that darkness underneath the tongue, huh?
Yeah, the oils are definitely a sign of the heart slowing down, having to work harder, not necessarily the heart slowing down, but having to pump harder. We'll say it like that. And I work with clients when they're showing signs of eating the fried foods and cooking with the oils. It's very obvious to me every single time. And then I do certain protocols with my clients to help offset that damage and actually, in fact, go in reverse. So it is reversible. The MDs will say that it's not really, unless, somebody goes in and gets some kind of a plaque removing procedure or something like that. It's all very invasive. And so we do natural things with my analysis. So when somebody does that, I can actually see, I look at them every 30 days, I'll re-look at them and compare that difference. And it's absolutely astounding what happens, how we undo that. So in this country, the number one cause of death is heart-related issues. So if anybody has a discoloration under the tongue, they need to schedule with me, because the whole thing is to get that undone and to get that reversed.
Oh, that's
Otherwise, yeah, some people will say, I have heart patients that come to me, they maybe had AFib, which is really not a heart issue, or they have a heart attack, or they had a valve issue, and their doctor says, oh, exercise more. Well, okay. But now the heart is having to pump even harder.
True.
You got to undo the problem. Exercise is not going to undo that problem.
You're right on that.
I tell them the opposite. No, slow down so that we can get that cleaned up and, not tax the heart any more than it's already being taxed.
And you really need to ease into exercise anyways. Not everyone can be a half marathon runner like me.
Exactly. Yeah.
You need to ease into running.
Yep.
But, there was somebody at the audience that actually asked, how do you learn to read the tongue? And how are you going to bring this healing teaching to the world in 2024?
Great question. I'm actually setting up as we speak. I do teach it in a class right now. So right now it's 1-to-1. You get me 1-to-1. It's pretty phenomenal. I do 2-hour sessions and we do 8 of those. So it's about 16 hours. I teach face, fingernail, and tongue analysis. Not only that, but then also the protocols to undo that damage. So it's literally, it's powerful. And why does that undo that damage? So it's very explanatory. We also do a session on other marks of concern on the body, because there are other things that show up in the body. And, I have literally sat in rooms of just all medical personnel. Wow. And one person brings up this little spot that was on her leg, and it kept coming back and back and back. The dermatologist was freezing it off. And I listened to every single medical person in the room say what they were doing and, how it's so common when people get older and, we just freeze them off. We just cut them off. And I said, I waited till everybody did their talking. And then I said, I would not do that if I were you. And so I said what I thought it was. And because, we can't diagnose either. Even as a naturopathic doctor, we're not allowed by laws to diagnose, treat, or prescribe, which is ludicrous. But so I said what it was. And literally in that moment, every head turned, and because what I said was logical and the truth. And every head turned and goes, what do you do? And so I told him that I was a naturopathic doctor, and I kid you not, everyone in the room was like, I want your card.
That's amazing. That's wonderful.
Right. And that's what I teach in the course. And anybody can go check out the course at the website, The Body Can, because the body can heal itself, thebodycan.com/take. And if they put that in there, it'll bring up all the course information and they can get scheduled. My next one, I don't have the date up there, but I believe it's around February 10th. It's not the cheapest class, but this is my lifetime of learning Chinese medicine and a skill that can be a career. Okay. So, yeah.
So I don't need to be a medical doctor. I could be a certified holistic health coach and take this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have people of every walk of life. In one of my last classes, I had a woman send me an email and she said, I'm an engineer, but I'm fascinated by what you do. Would this information be over my head? And I just chuckled and laughed. I even told her, I said, you're an engineer. Imagine your brain. You can handle this course. So I teach in layman's terms. Everything is really down to, street level. I don't teach in a way that, even kids, teenagers would love this course because it's so fascinating. It's so full of information. There's not a dead moment. I can assure you at the end of 2 hours of the class, each time I do one, everybody is like, wow, that was like 5 minutes. So it's a lot of information, but it's also fascinating. So we go over real life cases and clients, and I show the results of day 1 to 6 months later, or however, it works out.
Well, I probably will look into that, see how much it is and see what I can do about that.
Yep.
Now I know you talked about health issues, heart issues, but can you see different things, different health issues under, on the tongue and what's going on?
Yeah, I can see hormone. I can see the liver. I can see the kidneys, the digestive, the gallbladder, gut issues, big time, heart issues, I said liver, let's see, digestive. I mean, there's a whole lot of things. That's just the tongue. The fingernails show signs of cancer, internal bleeding, hormonal. I mean, the list is big. Kidney issues, liver issues, heart issues, all those things will show in fingernails. It's very in depth. Deficiencies of very specific nutrients are very obvious. The face just is a whole nother world. The face is incredible. All the various organs, stomach, large intestine, small intestine, heart, liver, kidneys, adrenals, pancreas, spleen, your whole lymphatic system, all of that in the face. I mean, it is full. So,
wow.
Yeah, lots of information there.
Yeah, there's lots. Oh, it's kind of like a reflexology, of your face, what you just said, and you can see what's going on.
Yeah.
I see that you have a book behind your tongue tales. Is that your #1 Amazon bestseller book?
That is the #1 best-selling book. It was my first book ever out. Truly, kind of the other things I had done were ebooks. That is my first published book. And within I am going to guess it was about a month, I was actually away on a trip. I got a text message saying that my book had made it to #1 bestseller in multiple categories on Amazon. It's a book that teaches little kids, to be observant of the tongue, and it shows all different animals throughout. And then at the end, I encourage them to take a look at their own tongue. So I'm starting at that level, because had we known at small ages to take a look at that thing, we probably wouldn't have all the health issues we have. And, it's going to continue to go up to all ages, including adulthood. And I also have a cookbook. Probably, I thought it would be done like a month ago, a little less than a month ago, but I'm probably still 1 month out. We're kind of arguing back and forth on the back cover. So we're getting there.
So I look forward to that one. And actually, I'll probably get the other one as well. I have learned so much in the last, since 2013 about holistic health. It's amazing what it can really do for your body. And that's why I've been sharing it ever since. And that's why I'm doing this, podcast, because I want to educate people.
Yeah.
And I'm just so fascinated with what you have to offer. And I really, appreciate you on my show. But I'm sure there's a lot more that we can cover. We have a few more minutes. And then we're going to end with how people can contact you. So is there anything else you want to say for about 5 minutes or so?
Yeah. When somebody's not born with something and it shows up later in life, for example, yes, anyone can take the class. I saw the question come across. When they come up with something like, let's say you're 40, 50, 60, even 20, it doesn't matter. And they get diagnosed with something, I don't care what it is. Could be diabetes, a blood pressure issue, could be a cancer, whatever. It's in my firm opinion and my experience that these things are reversible. Okay. So if you're not born with it, it's reversible in most every single case. Now, if somebody had, let's say, a knee replacement or a hip replacement, now they have titanium in there. So we can't necessarily get the cartilage to regrow because now you got something in that spot.
So thing in your spot. Yeah.
So the main thing in that type of scenario is everybody needs to spread the word that these things are reversible. Cartilage can be regrown as long as there is blood movement in that area. So don't go get the titanium in there. And to make your audience kind of get what that would be, for example, osteoporosis. And osteoporosis can happen anywhere in our body that we have bones, period. Mm-hmm. So it's, we've all heard the saying that my mom fell and broke her hip. And really, I want everybody to start thinking different. And that's what we have to do. It was that her hip broke and then she fell. Okay.
That makes a lot of sense.
Right. So she wasn't getting the raw material. And so if we get her the raw material, that should not break. And even if there are certain things like, say, bone spurs or, things like that, those are reabsorbable into the body. Those are, again, sign of deficiency. Mm-hmm. Fill in the ailment it's a sign of deficiency if you were not born with it. When I first got into the health field, there was somewhere around 400 to 600 so-called incurables. Now it's over 1,000. So they say.
Oh, wow.
Okay. It's not true. It is a lie. And these things are reversible. The body is starving. When I do my analysis, and I'll give an example of one gentleman who came to me and said, oh, I'm jumping out of planes and I'm so healthy and I'm so da, 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 da. And he gave me this whole laundry list, but just wanted to, kind of make sure that everything was on track. Late 70s. I did an analysis on him. It's called a full analysis, where I do look at the face, fingernails, and tongue. And then I, get back to them. We have a long conversation, and then we have several follow-ups. And it's very thorough. And so I told him, you are in trouble in this. When we got together, he had real bad signs of heart or potential stroke or aneurysm. So I don't necessarily say, hey, you're on the verge of this, but I said, you're at critical level in some things, and this is what I suggest. So I put together a total protocol for him, and he kind of was a little bit of a, I don't want to say know-it-all, but that's kind of what he was. Mm-hmm. And he was I said, you need to slow down, not really be jumping out of planes right now, not getting the heart pumping, etc. And he did the protocol for about 30 days, and then he quit because he knew better. So I didn't hear from him again until about April. That was in September of 2021. And I didn't hear from him again until about April. He actually reached out to my assistant for help. And he was now talking like this.
Oh, no.
Right. He had a stroke.
Yeah.
So everything that I had seen that he could have thwarted, and that was plenty of time. He had it in January, of the next year, but we had started to work with him in September. So had he continued, it would have been, in my opinion, enough time to take him off the critical level in that time frame. And then shortly after he contacted us in April, he got sick with the thing going around. And I hesitate to say the word because
don't say it.
So he then got sick on top of that. So I know he's in really bad shape, and, now he hasn't been working. So, the income isn't there. And of course, he's no longer jumping out of planes. So when people have the signs, or if, someone like me gets a hold of you and says, listen, I see this, take it to heart. Take it to heart. It's in my firm opinion that most medical doctors don't have a clue of how to handle anything real chronic at all. Their wheelhouse is emergencies. We've all heard that. Emergency surgeries, things like that's not my wheelhouse. I'm not an expert at certain things. They aren't an expert at certain things. Okay. Mm-hmm. They know their prescriptions. I know them too, just by default of having thousands of clients over the years and looking up every prescription out there to see what the side effects are. Because believe me, they're there, and lots of them. So, it's in my firm opinion that everything is reversible if we can get to it fast enough, or even a year down the road. But if you know you have symptoms, then get scheduled quickly so that it doesn't turn into something else. And then once it's reversed, then you just get on things that are more, what's the word I'm looking for just maintenance. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, and then, people like me are very preventative. So I'll say this one last thing. I'm 56. I just had a birthday back in end of December. And, I'm still happy. This is still natural hair color. We haven't had any sun for 3 months in Florida, it seems like. So I probably would even be blonder if I was out in the sun, but no hair dyes. Okay. I don't use chemicals on the body, and I eat really clean, and I take my supplementation. You won't get what you need from the food. Everyone has to supplement, period, end of story. So the reason I don't color my hair is because I don't have to. I'm getting the raw material I need to keep my natural hair color. Okay. So people can keep that. Gray hair is not a sign of aging. It's not, I'm 56, I should have gray hair and I should be coloring my hair at this point. No, I've had kids come to me with gray hair. Okay. It's a sign of the heart. So if anybody's listening, remember what I said in the beginning. The heart is the number one reason why people fall in this country, and gray hair is not a sign of aging. It's the heart. So if you want to turn those issues around, get scheduled, and then they'll, come to you for all of their nutrition.
Okay. Well, how can they reach you? How can my audience and I reach you?
Yeah, the best way to get scheduled with me is 844-275-1056, 844-275-1056, or they can go straight to the website and schedule, which is thebodycan.com/schedule. It's super easy.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Okay.
I am so happy that and grateful that you decided to be part of my show. And I hope you'll be part of a future episode. Will you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll definitely come back.
Okay. Well, I know that you need to get going. I really adore that you shared your knowledge today, and I've learned something new. So I'm just going to let you go, and I'll see you soon. And you can repeat your number one more time.
Sure. 844-275-1056, 844-275-1056.
Okay,
it's
great.
A toll-free line. I won't answer it, just so you know. It'll ask you in the voice message, it'll say, leave your age, height, weight, what's going on. And again, you can schedule yourself on my calendar at that website as well, thebodycan.com/schedule. You can pick your own date and time.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, this is wonderful. I really want you back.
Awesome.
Okay.
Have a wonderful night, everybody. And thank you for listening.
Okay. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And I'm going to continue the show with what I offer in relation to what she just said. So my offerings are similar to Dr. Randi Shannon, but I'm a certified holistic health coach. I'm not a naturopath. I guide people to clean, toxic-free nutrition. Yes, she was wonderful, wasn't she? And I thank her for being on the show too. So I guide people to a clean, good, toxic-free nutrition diet, as well as high-quality, high-dense nutritional products. And I also do coaching for weight release and health, as well as mindset and emotional coaching, so you can obtain your optimal health. As a health coach, you can go to the next slide. I have people do a health evaluation that they will rate their symptoms in the last 30 days in 4 categories of health. And it will be a little repetitive because some symptoms are in multiple categories. You'll get a score. Don't be upset that you got a negative score. It's just something for you to improve upon. Plus, I look at that biggest category with the biggest number of symptoms. And that's what we're going to start on, to start reducing those symptoms by modifying the foods that you eat, which is your diet, and including nutritional supplements. And yes, mindset and emotional coaching is part of it. And I'll tell you a little bit later. Now, I do offer another way of evaluating your health, which I'll explain at the a little bit more time. Now, when it comes to health and weight release coaching, mindset and emotional coaching is really important. So you can go to the next slide. I feel that a person really needs to envision themselves as a new you. So I help you create a new vision of yourself with an avatar board. This board will drive you with emotion and passion to reach your health goals. And I have an episode where I at https://bit.ly/vision with a capital V, cast with a capital C, show with a capital S, where I show you how to create a vision, avatar, and a goal poster. You don't need all that information, but it'll give you a little idea what that's like, and I kind of guide you through that. Because once you envision yourself as someone that's healthier, that's going to help you be less stressful about becoming that person. And I also help people release their stress and emotions. And it could be a simple thing like deep diaphragmatic breathing. Or I help you reframe your thinking and your mindset, and that, where's the stress coming from? Am I causing the stress, or is this some outside influence causing the stress? Because if it's some outside influence, you can't control that outside influence, whether it's a some event that happened in your life or whether it's a person. You can only control the way you react to that outside influence. So I help you recognize that by reframing your mindset. And I also have several programs and offerings. I have my Beach Reveal Retreat, is where I have a 6-month weight release journey with a couple months of maintenance accountability, where you get to write your transformational story in a chapter of a book at a retreat center in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. This program becomes a celebratory reward for you for achieving your health and, releasing weight. And what's great about it is that you're going to have such a high desire, motivation, and passion that will drive you to be successful on your health transformation. You can catch the show, if you want to go to the next slide, at https://bit.ly, that's bit.ly/beach with a capital B, reveal with a capital R, S is a capital show, and 2 is my last week's episode. And my original episode is the one without the 2. And it's a numeric 2, it's not the word 2. It's all spelled out. And right now we are looking at starting on March 1st, but you need to be paid before then. And that would be an 8-month program. If for some reason we extend it, the next opportunity would be April 4th. So the 4th would be with you. And that would be a 7th-month payment program, which would be more expensive. Now, this whole program includes that weight release journey and my couple amounts of accountability and maintenance from me in my coaching. It includes the House of Influence Retreat Center with foods and accommodations. It includes the fun activities and excursions. And it includes guidance writing that transformational story in the chapter of the book, plus the publishing costs and how to market your book. The whole cost of the whole program is $3,997, and the payment plans are depending on when you start paying. So if you start paying on March 1st, that would be the 8th-month plan, and that's $500 a month. If you start paying on April 4th, where the 4th would be with you, that would be 7th-month plan, and that's $571 a month. And it doesn't hurt to sign up early because spaces are limited. So sign up as soon as you can, because now we're in the time that we're going to just push this. And remember, you're celebrating your success of attaining your health and weight loss goals. And you also, it's a therapeutic way of, releasing your past events that you don't want to be part of you anymore. You'll be thrilled when you start, and you would contact me at my link tree, which is www.debi changes CHANGS lives lives.com/linktree. There is a HTTPS at the beginning. By an appointment or email, it's better to contact me in person. Then the other offers I have is you can reach me either by email or by appointment for more details on Why Fast. Why Fast is our new intermittent fasting program that will help your cells get healthier and your body get healthier. So in a way, your body will start humming after you start the intermittent fasting. And also boosts your metabolism. And it is unique because of the high dense nutrients in it. But this is an entire program. It's just not intermittent fasting. So it includes those products that are high dense nutrient rich products, but it also includes recipes with high dense foods, exercises that you can do, as well as guidance. And there's 3 levels that you can do that. You don't need to jump out of an airplane and do the pro. You can start as a beginner. And you can also do the middle one, which is the standard. And then there's a pro. You always want to ease into any exercise routine. So you possibly want to ease into an intermittent fasting routine as well. And I do include intermittent fasting with all my weight loss programs. But this is a standalone program that you can do by yourself. And welcome to contact me for more details via email at my link tree. Just select the email button. And also on that link tree is where you can get an appointment with me for a complimentary consultation where you get to know me, I get to know you, and I will guide you to your optimal health. And you can also find out about my other programs as well as you brought the Wi-Fi fast back up. The other part of my appointment link are my Zyto scans. Now I have two different Zyto scans. I have the Zyto Cradle, which you can only do locally, but I also have the Zyto Link. And kind of like what Dr. Randi Shannon does, the Zyto Link scans your face with your phone, okay? But it doesn't scan your tongue, which is really important because of what she illustrated in that one picture. It doesn't scan your fingernails. So if you want those services, you need to contact Dr. Randi Shannon for those services and set up an appointment, because the Zyto Link won't do that for you. What the Zyto Link will do for you is that once I send you, it's an app where I send you a link to it. Once you open that app and the link, you can look at your phone and scan your face for 30 seconds. It's going to look at the areas of energetic, functional, and emotional, as seen in different body systems, as well as lifestyle choices. And what it's going to do is it's going to give you biomarkers, which is a digital representation of different health issues or organs or lifestyles that are out of range. And then it will give you services and products that will bring them back into range. Now, this comprehensive report, they both are, the Cradle and the Link are both very comprehensive. It can be overwhelming for someone to read it because it is so detailed. So I will review it with you. And if you utilize my services, you get a little bit of a discount on my services. Now, a lot of people are amazed about what their body tells them when they get the Zyto Link scans done, especially the Zyto Link, because it's so easy for them to do. And then maybe you may want to reach out to see what your tongue looks like with Dr. Randi Shannon to see if you need anything additional. You're welcome to talk to me about the Zyto Link scans, whether it's the Cradle or whether it's the Link, by going to that appointment button and just setting up an appointment. And what's really important is that all my scans are $50. I've kept my Zyto Link family plan where you get 5 scans for the price of 4. I can't do the numbers right. And you do save $50. But remember, I'll give you a little bit of a discount on my products. Now, go to the next slide, which is about my book. When you read a transformational story that just inspires you that someone's done, that's a wonderful feeling. But when you're really in the need of reading that story, it really helps you. And my #1 best-selling book, Women Rising, is a collection of several women's transformational stories, including my own. And it's a great gift for someone that's struggling. So you can get the copy of that book for $20 or a signed copy for $25. And you can email me at my link tree. And once I get your email and your payment, I'll send the book right off to you. Finally, I have a newsletter that you can subscribe to where you can be in the know of my current promotions and events and upcoming shows. You subscribe to it by going to https://bit.ly/radio TV show, all in lowercase. And when you do that, I give you a gift of a 30-day health and mindset daily action journal, where you can record the gratitudes, the thoughts and feelings that you've had that day, the foods that you ate, the water that you drank, and the exercise you've done. Also, it can track your measurements. You want to review this on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis to see your wins and celebrate them, and see your gaps and do something about them. If you need help getting over that gap, that's where you hire me as your certified holistic health coach, and I'll get you through that. It's a great health awareness tool. So I am certain that you found my show educational, eye-opening, and you enjoyed it. Remember to contact me as your certified holistic health coach. If you need that tongue analysis and everything else, you go to Dr. Randi Shannon and her class, okay? And continue enjoying my show, my radio and TV show, Debi Changes Lives, on Thursdays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, where your holistic journey begins.